Escape from Uganda is making waves. And today we have with us the woman who brought Uganda to Kerala. We have with us the producer of Escape from Uganda, Usha Rajesh. Welcome, Usha.
Thanks, Meera. And hello, viewers.
Being the producer of a movie that was shot extensively or probably exclusively in Uganda, as a producer, what was your chief concern? Did you ever say, hey, couldn't we have shot this in Kerala and it would have been so much less expensive? Did that thought ever cross your mind?
Okay, as a producer, yes, you're right. We could have shot this movie if it wasn't named Escape from Uganda anywhere else in this world, or particularly in Kerala or anywhere else. But why exactly did we choose Uganda? Probably that is the right question, right? So why we chose Uganda is for the past 10 years, 12 years for my husband and 10 years for myself. We've been stationed in Uganda. He was the CEO of a steel manufacturing company, and I was a banker, the head of risk management and the board member for an organization, a bank as such, called FINA Bank. So we've actually lived majority of our life in Uganda, in Kampala, the capital of Uganda. And we thought, what better way to bring Uganda to the Keralites, the way we see it, the most beautiful, the picturesque locations. We've shot this extensively in around 56 locations in Uganda, within Uganda, the capital city. Then we've got we've shot in Sese Islands. So what better way to bring Uganda to Keralites? I mean, obviously, there's no need for anyone to take a visa anymore and go to Uganda to see Uganda. We're bringing it to the viewers in Kerala. And yes, it would have been much more cost effective, not necessarily cheap, but cost effective if we had actually shot this over here. But the whole point or the plot revolves around a family. It's basically a family thriller, and it revolves around a family that gets caught up in a kind of I'm not revealing too much, but in a kind of mess around there in Uganda, and how their life proceeds from there on, and how they the turmoil that they face with the justice in Uganda, and how they escape. Rather, that would be that is exactly the whole plot. It's a family thriller, how a trio escapes from Uganda. And the basic intention of shooting in Uganda was to bring the beauty out. So that's exactly why we actually wanted to show how we see Uganda.
What were the hurdles that you faced when shooting in this country?
Okay, now Uganda as such is a very beautiful place. I've already kept repeating myself over and over again. But the cinema industry or the movie industry does not thrive much there. It's very new. The only movies that run there are the Hollywood flicks, as well as the Nigerian serials, the soaps. So when we go as an Indian movie industry, we were welcomed. So basically we weren't actually, there wasn't much hurdles, as in we had a lot of support from the locals there, from the ministry, and the whole, the Indian fraternity really wanted us to shoot it there, shoot the whole movie there, so that we could actually show the Indians, the rest of the Indians as well, how beautiful Uganda is and how welcoming and polite the people out there are. But definitely taking around 50 odd crew members. And as well as 100, 200 tons of equipment from here is always going to dent the pocket. But why not? If this is the end result and we can actually show what we really want and what we really truly believe in, why not take that risk?
But what in terms of sanctions, security and so on? Did you have problems there?
Like I said, they're very new to this kind of field. So everyone is more or less very enthusiastic, very curious to know exactly what's happening in the set. So we definitely had to have security 24/7. For the stars, for the cast, for the crew, the whole, the whole bandwagon of the people were traveling with probably security like in front and behind, and the whole team, the ministry was completely there to guard us 24/7. So yes, there is a security issue there, but we have overcome that with the help of the Ministry of Uganda and the Indian Association as well as the Kerala Samajam there. So.
You have a large community of people from Kerala there?
Around 500 or so, and 2 Kerala Samajams as well.
Oh, I see. As the producer, what was your chief role? Was it just about the money, or were you closely involved with the making of the movie?
Oh, very much actually. Like I said, it's my husband and Rajesh Nair. He's the director of the movie, and myself. We've been dying to actually show the people of Kerala how beautiful Uganda is. We've been living our almost majority life like there, and as the producer, this is a whole incident that the whole movie is actually based on a true incident, and something that happened during the 80s. The late 80s in Uganda, and inspired by another movie as well. So there is a slight quantum of fiction as well inserted into this for general consumption, commercial aspect. But my involvement would be, I've been with him since the inception of this movie through to the shoot.
Yeah, so it's your baby.
It's our baby more or less, and I've been doing the costumes as well for this one. And normally I would have done the choreography, but for this one I didn't do it because I let it out to a better expert, Srijit. So I'm not involved in the choreography.
So your interests are, your passions are choreography and costume designing.
Absolutely right, and production as well.
Right. So tell us a little more about this costume designing aspect. How do you actually decide, what would look best on somebody, and how do you arrive at that? How is that process like?
Okay, the first thing I would have to say is we had to go with the whole plot. So first, once he is actually zeroed in on the character, then we design the look for the character. And once that is done, we actually match it with the person who's going to portray that on silver screen. And once that is done, we actually do a lot of plus minus, see if it goes. We work out with looks even prior to the shoot. We have a photo session just to see if the look actually suits this. If it doesn't, 4 or 5 times we'll have to go back and forth with this director. And trust me, he is one big taskmaster. So he doesn't say that, okay, now this is something that Usha has brought up, my wife has brought up, so let's go with it. No, he doesn't do that. So it is pretty tough. I'll have to actually go through, get them to agree, get the artist to agree as well on the character whole look as well as the sketch you will have to make it with.
Was that difficult, getting the characters to agree?
No, the artists have been very, very cooperative, and to get the character sketch right at the first shot was much more easier this time because I've been involved since inception. Like I said, that is our baby. So
And where do you get these costumes stitched and manufactured?
Actually, this one is more or less a very down-to-earth, earthy plot. So you didn't have to actually go overboard with the outfits and the costumes. It was just mix and match from here and there. Inside Trivandrum, Reema's costumes, of course, was from Bangalore, and she has actually helped us a lot in this one. So because as you know, she was we're not very happy with the costumes that you get here because you get a lot of multiplicity and duplicity in that case. We wanted it to go exclusive. So that was more from Bangalore, the shopping.